boxing. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. ready to face downtown Louis Brown in a super welterweight bout scheduled for 10.
He better be ready for everything. I'm coming to fight, and I'm coming to win. I feel at this time right now, I'm at the best part of my career, and I feel really strong. So he better be ready, because I'm coming to go after him.
All I want to prove is that I belong here amongst the elite company. You know, that I can fight with these guys.
And words soon will turn into action or not as we look at the huge age difference, 13 years. Chavez Jr. turned pro at 17. He's been busy because he's learning on the job with no amateur experience. Height advantage his way. As we look at the rules now, Wally.
All righty, 10-point must system once again. No standing 8, no 3 knockdown rule, no saving by the bell. Only the referee can stop the fight. And once again, the accidental butt rule. To the scorecards you go after 4 rounds.
Good crowd here in Chicago. Getting their first look at downtown Louis Brown. And they don't like what they see. 34 years old, 8 years in the Air Force. After 40 amateur fights, he turned pro 5 years ago at age 28. 2-year layoff prior to his last fight, coming off a 4-round win in May. He's married, 3 kids. He's an aviation mechanic, hence the Air Force connection. And he is first in the ring. Probably his biggest moments, TKO'd by prospect Dimitri Salita and KO'd by former lightweight champion Cesar Bazan. Louis Brown just 15-2 with 10 KOs. Late start, now 34. And definitely the underdog here tonight. Roar, you here? We talked about the popularity of Julio Cesar Chavez. We know all about the legends that is his father. And you know, looking in the crowd here, guys, saw a lot of father-son combinations. It's one of those connect points. A lot of the fathers here said, this is my hero, and now, son, I want you to watch his son. Guys, young guys got a long way to go to match the old man, but not in terms of decibel level with ovations. That was major league.
They certainly got a little bit of a head start in the popularity department. We know that.
Michael Buffer has the official introductions now.
Ladies and gentlemen, this special contest is brought to you by Top Rank Boxing in association with 8 Count Promotions and sponsored by La Cerveza Más Fina Corona Extra. The 3 judges at ringside scoring this bout, Steve Corbo, John McCarthy, and Celestino Ruiz. And inside the ring, your referee in charge of the action, Gerald Scott. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a special 10-round bout in the super welterweight division. Introducing first, Fighting out of the blue corner, wearing blue. Official weight, 148 3/4 pounds. 15 victories in his career, including 10 by knockout, only 2 defeats. From Indianapolis, Indiana, downtown, Louis Brown. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing green. Official weight, 152 pounds. As a professional, 32 victories with 1 draw, including 25 knockouts. Damas y caballeros de Culiacan, Mexico, the undefeated Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Okay, you had your instructions in the dressing room. I want a good, clean, professional fight. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands. Touch gloves. Good luck.
Gennaro, I got to tell you, Wally and I were at your fight, the Oscar De La Hoya fight, obviously big crowd favorite. You never experienced boos close to that for doing nothing wrong, did you? How do you get past something like that? That's pretty darn daunting. To be booed out of the ring before you threw a punch.
Well, you know, as a fighter, when you go to somebody's hometown or to somebody's famous backyard, like, you know, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., with all this crowd behind him, you just have to ignore the fact that, you know, you're not facing the crowd, you're facing Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., so you have to get in there and just go to work.
It's happened to you?
It happened to me when I went to France to fight for the world title.
And won the world title there. Exactly.
Well, you know, you got a very good technical fighter in Julio Cesar Chavez who never had an amateur fight. So little by little, he's progressing very well. He has the ability to fight any top 10 contender.
Wally,
so it's just a matter of time, I think.
You've watched his progression. How has he done it, basically, without the amateur foundation?
Well, he's been very, very carefully matched. I mean, I think they've done a pretty good job of finding guys who, you know, will test him a little bit, but not really hurt him. And I still don't think he's been tested, you know, to any real extent, Nick. And on the subject of Louis Brown, I'll just tell you, you know, Gennaro and I sat with him yesterday for a while, and he knows the deal. He knows he's coming in here, you know, as the enemy, as the bad guy. And, you know, in fact, he used the word sacrificial lamb. He said, people treat me like I'm the sacrificial lamb around here.
Right, he got stuck with a very strong left
jab.
That was a power jab, wasn't it?
To put that lamb on his skewers.
Yeah. Power jab and that right hand sunk in behind it. There's the left hook to the body. Gee, where'd he get that from?
He throws that so very well.
He really does.
You wouldn't think that would be genetically transmitted, but it is.
Couldn't be natural. Wow. Chavez in the green. Chavez Jr.
You know, when I was fighting and I actually sparred his dad back in the late '80s, I saw his 2 boys at the gym, and they used to get in the ring. So obviously, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. has been around, but never as a fighter.
He grew up around boxing the same way Ken Griffey Jr. grew up in baseball clubhouses.
Good left to the body again by Chavez.
But he didn't start taking it seriously till he turned pro at 17. He's been busy since, on-the-job training. 34th fight now in 4 years. Less than 4 years.
That looked a little low by Chavez, and actually the referee told Chavez to keep him up a little bit.
Now, one thing that we should say for Louis Brown is that I think he is fighting a smart, controlled fight. I don't know how many of those shots, those left hooks to the body he can take, but he is doing a pretty good job of controlling Chavez and not letting him open up too much.
Wow, and he's coming forward, too. Well, he's got to get close. He's the shorter guy.
But you know something, Nick and Wally, sometimes a shorter fighter could be better fighting at a distance. Actually having good upper body movement, though. You know, you got to keep those hands up and learn how to block that jab.
So you let the guy come to you?
Sometimes you have to. I mean, look at Floyd Mayweather. Mayweather is actually a heck of a counter puncher.
No doubt.
He's not that tall, but yet he's very elusive. So that's something that I think that if a fighter like Willie actually have, it would be making a difference here.
We go to Julio Cesar Chavez's corner, and our translator, once again, Enrique Lozano.
Agarra más por tu izquierda, más jab.
Use more jab.
Suelta la derecha al pecho.
Let the right
derecha al pecho.
right to the chest.
Hasta arriba.
Not too high. Okay?
Julio, tienes que agarrarlo más por dentro.
You gotta get him more inside.
Por dentro, agarra.
And then go up.
Ya le baja la mano. How do you feel? Mouthpiece? Feel good? Okay. You reach, stop reaching. Okay? You want to rinse? You want to rinse? Here you go. Catch the left hook to the body. Deep breath. Again. One more time. There you go. All right, guys, let's go. Let's go to work, baby.
Well, Louis Brown was the more active fighter in that first round, but not the most effective. Chavez out quickly. He's hit green.